Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So we have some XRP news today and we have some Bitcoin news today. I'm going to have to keep it a little bit shorter today. I have an event I have to attend once again later tonight. So does it ever seem to you like the times where you're the most tired? And let me tell you, it's been crazy busy lately. The times where I'm most tired, does it ever seem like that's when you have the most stuff to do? It seems like that. I'm telling you. Oh, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm exhausted today, but you got to handle your business. You know what I mean? So anyway, we got some good news today. I'm going to hold off on the crazy bank news. There was more, but we'll do that tomorrow. This article is titled Ripple CLO teases XRP case resolution. We are closer than ever. That's what I want to hear. That's what I like to hear. It's been a long time coming. And I'll tell you what, we have a crazy article. We still have a crazy article today. Unfortunately, I don't make the news up, folks. I just report it. But the SEC is taking crazy actions again. Can you believe it? All right, but let's begin here with some good news. It says this: Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderoty, hints at near resolution in XRP case amid ongoing legal maneuvers with the SEC. Says in a significant development in the ongoing legal battle between Ripple Labs and the US SEC, Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderoty, hinted at the imminent resolution of the case. Alderoty's remarks came in response to the SEC filing its redacted remedies reply brief supporting exhibits. The filing by the SEC highlighted various issues, including the question of financial harm and the possibility of a permanent injunction against Ripple. The regulator argued for the granting of an injunction, citing concerns over the crypto company's reliance on the sale of XRP as its primary source of income, which is also very telling. If that is the case, then obviously XRP is something that Ripple is going to definitely push. I'm just saying. It says in the midst, so there's implications there, right? It says that are very positive for the future. It says in the midst of these legal maneuvers, Alderoty remained optimistic, expressing confidence that the lawsuit would soon be behind them. However, he also noted that while Ripple was nearing the end of his journey with the lawsuit, others were just beginning. Of course, listen, like I said, I hope Ethereum is ready to fight. And, going by some of the recent verbiage out of the SEC, it looks like they're ready to go after others as well, unfortunately. So I just hope all of crypto is ready to fight. Alderoty's comments also took aim at the SEC's approach, accusing the regulator of failing to uphold the law and attempting to deceive the judge overseeing the case. He further criticized the regulator's stance on crypto regulation, suggesting a lack of respect for international financial regulators. Yes, we definitely have seen that. But I'll say this. To be balanced, we've also seen a lot of international regulatory agencies dance to the tune that the SEC wants. Sort of like there was a regulatory agency, I believe it was out of South Korea. You could look all of this up, right? And they were asking the SEC for pointers. Just make up your own mind. Why go by what they say? Why follow in their footsteps? They're not doing well here. The West is not doing well. Don't take advice from the regulators and authority figures. I'm just saying, the regular people, they're cool. The regular people are cool. The regulators and the fake authority figures, they're not cool. I almost said they're no cool. They're not cool. So yeah, avoid them at all costs and taking advice from them. It says here, despite the challenges posed by the SEC's filings, Ripple appears determined to see the case through to its conclusion. Good. Fight to the bitter end. We've been here through hell, and what does Styles P say? I'll take some words from the very wise Styles P. I think it was something like, gotta make it. I gotta make it to heaven for going through hell. We went through the hell. Now we're on that upward trajectory. Let's make it to see what the heaven is like. You get what I'm saying? I'm just taking that phrase. It's expedient here. So now let's go here. We have an article. Oh, here we go with the craziness from the SEC. By the way, folks, day three of fasting, hardcore fasting, day 3. We're making it. We're doing it. All right. So now This article is titled SEC Files Final Response in Ripple versus XRP case. Wait a minute. What happened? Wait a minute. No. I didn't want to cover that article. My apologies. Bear with me one moment, folks. Not that article. Let me scroll that one to the back. I don't know why I have that one up here. All right. No, this is the article I wanted to cover. Got it. Ripple's stablecoin project already attacked by the SEC. Listen, no one should ever question why I don't speak for everyone. Why I greatly dislike the SEC. Everything we try to do, every innovation, they try to get in the way of it. They even try to get in the way of AI. They just can't stop AI. AI is a little different. Thank goodness. Everything we do, they get in the way. Wait a minute. So Ripple stablecoin you have a problem with, but you don't have a problem with USDC? How? I don't understand that. Ripple stablecoin, they haven't even issued the stablecoin yet. They haven't. I don't understand that. But let me read the article here. Let me not jump the gun. Let me not jump out the window. But it says the US Securities Exchange Commission has Ripple's recently announced stablecoin in its crosshairs. In its recent filing, the SEC described the stablecoin as an, quote, unregistered crypto asset, unquote. I don't even understand this verbiage. Weren't stable coins supposed to be in the clear? Stable coins were supposed to be good? I don't know. According to the SEC, probably not. But according to other agencies, yes. It's all this confusion here. But this just looks like malicious. They just have malicious intent here. That's what it looks like. They're pissed off that they've been losing against Ripple and they have a big war chest of money, the SEC, and they're just looking to give Ripple a hard time anywhere that they can. It says here, as reported by U.Today, Ripple announced its dollar-backed cryptocurrency in early April. The, quote, enterprise-grade, unquote, stablecoin, which will be launched both on XRP Ledger and Ethereum, is supposed to bridge traditional finance with crypto. According to Ripple CTO David Schwartz, the name of the stablecoin project is going to be unveiled in June. They didn't even unveil the name. And this is how you know it's malicious intent. And the SEC is jumping out the window, attacking them. It says the SEC lawsuit is closer than ever to its end. Then they go into that. I don't know why. I wish they would have given us a little bit. That's literally all the information they gave on this so-called SEC attack. Was it just a brief statement? But if they're going to say something like that, that's a warning, obviously, to say, hey, listen, that we're going to say it's an unregistered crypto asset, which means that they're going to try to go after it. Like, oh, man. Listen, folks, I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to even phrase it. The things that are happening within the United States in particular, across the board, by the way, there's been so much corruption and just lack of progress, lack of advancement, especially when it comes to important technologies. Let me clarify, important technologies is unbelievable. And sure, we feel that globally as well. I heard some, I can't remember who it was that was speaking. I believe it was at that, did you all watch the meeting that the Bank for International Settlements just posted? That long meeting, yeah. I think there was a part 1 and a part 2. I was watching part 1, and I believe one individual was speaking about trying to contain AI and stuff like that. And you do know AI and robotics go hand in hand, right? So there's pluses and minuses to everything. Pluses, minus everything. Now, one of the pluses in how this is damaging is that, first of all, we didn't even get to artificial general intelligence yet. With some of my people over on the AI channel, they're very much up on that. They're like experts and pros. I'm not an expert or pro. I just know a little bit. But we didn't even get to that part where AI is of a human intelligence level. It's not even close. Not even. I use a lot of different AIs for different stuff. Not here on the channel, but for a lot of different stuff. And let me tell you, it's nowhere near close to people, but it serves a good purpose. Now, if you were to take that, and I'm going to show you how this is injurious and how they're holding humanity back. You take that, you put that somewhere where you just give the workers some training on how to control the AI, because it definitely needs guidance. Oh, it needs guidance. And then you could maybe bring in more profit with people working in conjunction with that, instead of the other way where you're trying to make it take over people's jobs, where it's definitely not going to fill that gap. It's just not. But you could train the people to work with that. And then you bring in a little bit more profit. Maybe they could get paid a little bit better. Affordability of living could be a little bit better. Maybe they don't have to break their backs anymore, working themselves near, almost to death. Like, you use it to benefit people. But here's what they're doing. They're holding, and this is what I want to get to. They're holding everything that could move people forward. They're holding it back. Crypto could make so many more millionaires, because in that first bull run, when we first began the channel, 2021, tons of millionaires were made. These people they weren't millionaires before. They weren't rich before, but they made millions in that bull run. Now they're holding everyone back. Don't get me wrong. Some meme coin people may have something to say. I don't know. I don't keep up with that. But the meme coin people say that there's lots of money being made up. I also know there could be a lot of money being lost as well. So let me just put that out there. But I'm staying balanced, though. So I don't know about that. But I'm just saying, with regular crypto, they've been holding that back, right? So you have them holding regular crypto back. You have them trying at every turn to contain and stifle AI, and they're having all these discussions and stuff. They just haven't been able to take major action on it just yet. Speeding up of the deployment of advanced robotics, which also goes hand in hand with AI, by the way. That's another thing there's so much going on, anyway. So that's what they had to say. So they're already saying that Ripple stablecoin is an unregistered security. Can you believe that? All right. So let's move on here. Little bit of Bitcoin news. Listen, I don't believe, and you don't have to believe like I do. This is not financial advice. I don't believe the enemy at any turn is going to defeat us, no matter how hard it gets. I just don't. There is something that's lacking in them. It goes hand in hand with their negativity. There is like this downward minded energy. It doesn't allow them to operate properly, strategically, or as strategically as we might move, who think with a more positive mind state. We're about growth. We're more expansive. Also, when people move with that negative energy, like the SEC and others, they tend, for some reason, I'm not sure why it's this way, but they tend to fall on their own sword and sabotage themselves. Because of the way that they operate with this downward mindedness and negative energy, you find a lot of hypocrisy. You find a lot of corruption there, right? If you just investigate, you'll see this. So no, with that type of energy, I don't think, as long as good people, I don't know should I say good? I think that's expedient here. But as long as good people fight and stand up for themselves, I don't think that the enemy is going to be defeating us. I just don't. And I don't think the SEC is going to defeat us, as long as we're willing to stand up, fight, and push back. Then what happens is, when you don't fight back against a bully, then the bullies win. And this is across the board. It doesn't matter where it is, whether it's the SEC or the FDIC. We read that crazy article yesterday. Did you see that article? They got exposed big time. It was disgusting what's going on there. This is the people they're telling everybody to trust. Now a great deal of the bank executives going nuts. We've been covering article after article after article after article of how they've been engaging in just unbelievably bad activities. These are the people that they say to trust. Who was it? One of the big banks, I think it was JP Morgan, don't quote me on that, but we had it in the video, had to pay a massive fine. I think it was like $500 million. Did you see that chapter? In one of the last 3 videos. $500 million because they were not complying with the SEC's stuff. Wait a minute. I thought you said that the banking systems were safe and they were compliant. Then why are they having to pay this massive fine for not being compliant? But then you say to trust them, even though you can't trust them. How does that make that makes no sense. I'm not going to try to do mental gymnastics in order to convince myself of something that is clearly, based on the evidence at hand, not true. No, see, what they don't want is the power in your hands. See, putting to the side the massive amount of capital that can be made with crypto, because it already was proven multiple times to be able to do that for people that actually need it, by the way. But putting that to the side, they don't want the power of choice to be in your hand, for you to control your own destiny. You know, you look at stuff like crypto, you're controlling your own finances, your own capital. You become a bank pretty much. You're custodying your own stuff. Then you can offer lending. Then on top of that, you can get more yield than their pathetic savings accounts give you. They don't want the people to have that. It's them versus the people, really, is what it is. It just happens that people, like, let's say, for example, XRP enthusiasts, they just happen to be at the forefront of the fight. They have no idea how important this fight is. But I think a lot of people lose sight of that. Just my humble opinion. You could disagree. I think a lot of people lose sight of that because of the money. And I get it. A lot of people need the money. But this fight, there's something bigger at stake. That's the most I can say right now to keep this video here, you know. But that type of activity, that type of oppression, it's ridiculous. There's younger people that need to be building businesses right now, and they could do it. They weren't here in the first bull run to experience that explosion in capital. Younger people that could be building businesses, buying houses, flying around the world, building good mental energies, because they're experiencing life like they may have never been able to do before if they're allowed to grow with crypto, right? There's older people that could be living much more relaxed, maybe taking care of their grandchildren a little bit better. There's a lot of struggle going on, but they're holding those people back. I don't like to see that. I just don't. It's just me, folks. I don't like to see that. I don't know. You know, that's just me. So now, Bitcoin, did we even read this? My goodness, I was going off for a minute there, but I just share a little bit. You don't have to go by what I say. So now, this article here is titled, Bitcoin Price Clings to $62,000 as Bitcoin Bulls Suffer Post-Halving Boredom. It says Bitcoin may be preparing for trend continuation, but on some short time frames. Bitcoin price behavior is inspiring no one. Wow, that's rather pessimistic and negative, inspiring no one. Isn't it just consolidating pretty much? I mean, that's what it looked like to me over the last few days, but I could be wrong. Maybe I saw wrong. Bitcoin at $61,858 eyed a test of range lows on May the 8th as analysis complained of post-halving boredom. Give it some time, man. People rush things. They rush things too much. Let me tell you something right now. One thing I learned in life, almost all good things, they take time. They take time. You want to make good, solid capital that's not going to go away? Takes a little bit of time. You want to have a relationship that lasts, that stands the test of time? To develop that base for that kind of relationship of any kind, takes time. It doesn't happen quickly. You have to build a lot of things like trust and such. Everything that's good takes time. You want to build a proper house. Like, a lot of people are building houses from the ground up. You want to make sure you take your time with that. You don't want, nothing good is rushed. Everything good takes time. Just the way that life is seems to be a universal law. So data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView show Bitcoin price momentum heading to $62,000 during the Asia session. Bitcoin had managed a rebound beyond $65,500 days prior, and its subsequent 5% retracement left Bitcoin/USD firmly in a range in place since before the weekend. The daily close at around 62,300 left Bitcoin/USD increasingly at risk of giving back more of his recent gains. Quote, any daily close above $62,100 or prolonged inactivity counts as a stop loss, unquote. J.A. Martoon, a contributor to on-chain analytics platform CryptoQuant, warned in part of the market coverage on X the day prior. Michael Vanderpop, founder and CEO of trading firm MN Trading, expressed frustration that the lack of overall direction since Bitcoin's block subsidy halving in, why did I read it like that? I read that all choppy. Frustration at the lack of overall direction since Bitcoin's block subsidy halving in mid-April. I think that was written a little bit blocky too. Quote, Bitcoin slowly proceeds towards the lower boundaries of the range for a test of support, unquote, he wrote on the day. Quote, after that, it seems likely we'll continue the upwards grind. Boredom has started since the Bitcoin halving took place, unquote. All right. So now let's find out. We have a little bit more Bitcoin news. Maybe this one's a little bit more upbeat. I like the high pace energy, or the better energy, the good energy. That's the fasting talking right there. It's certain times of the day where my mind is like, Nick, this is the mind talking to you and we're not on right now. And I'm like, no, you have to turn on right now. We have business to handle. All right. Anyway, this article here is titled, Why Fidelity Says Bitcoin Will Soar Again. All right. So this one begins, Bitcoin is traditionally seen as a risky asset, but its volatility isn't constant. It ebbs and flows. Why are they telling stuff that we know? You're preaching to the choir. We all know this. What's more, the top cryptocurrency's volatility has reached historic lows in the last 12 months. But what about Fidelity? It's a sign that Bitcoin could soon experience another massive price increase. Fidelity Investments research analyst Zach Wainwright wrote in a May 1st report. It says, studying Bitcoin volatility. The prediction comes as Bitcoin has recovered from the wobble that saw it fall below the $57,000 mark last week. It's currently trading above $63,600, with the volatility reaching historic lows. Traders should prepare for Bitcoin to become more valuable. This is in direct contrast to the last article, right? It says, if only because there are little to no signs of trading mania. Quote, investors have historically experienced large price increases in short periods of time once all-time highs in price were revisited, and subsequently broke under these circumstances, unquote, Wainwright said. The price appreciation tends to culminate with Bitcoin volatility rising to high levels, Fidelity said, indicating that speculation has become rampant and the market is overheated. The exception, Fidelity noted, was the 2021 bull market. Quote, global events like the redacted can vastly change the trajectory of any market, Bitcoin concluded, unquote, Wainwright said. The report also said that Bitcoin volatility was falling over time. In fact, Bitcoin has been less volatile than some big tech stocks like chip maker Nvidia, electric car maker Tesla, who Nvidia is going to have a lot of challenges in the future, once again, if LPUs go mainstream. GPUs will become a thing of the past. Once again, I can't remember the other thing that they're developing. Someone else is developing something that is faster than LPUs. Can you even believe that? We covered that on the AI channel, but I got to get back to the AI channel. Don't worry, I'm working on some things. Okay. But yeah, Nvidia is going to have some challenges in the future with their GPUs. They better step up their game greatly. Electric car maker Tesla and Facebook owner Meta Platforms this past year. Bitcoin's decreasing volatility shows that the asset is maturing in the eyes of investors, Fidelity said. And that may be why it managed to climb to a new all-time high in March while keeping low volatility. Bitcoin was nearly half as volatile in 2024 at $60,000 when compared with 2021 at the same price, Wainwright said. Interesting. Another asset that has behaved similarly, gold, but we don't need to cover gold right now. We'll cover that tomorrow. All right. So that's all we're going to do for today because I got to get out of here. I got to run. I hope you all are going to get to relax. I hope you're going to get to relax tonight. Wait a minute. Wait. I said yesterday that we would cover the 90s chapter today. And even though I got to get out of here, let's squeeze this in very quickly. Let's get this in. Okay. And now I'm racing against time, but I like to keep my word. That's important for me. It's not about other people. There's a certain level of discipline and honor I like to bestow. I like to maintain within myself. Anyway, it helps me sleep at night. So anyway, here's something from Perplexity. And it says, based on the search results here, I searched up something about the top 10 things from the 90s that are loved. Here are the top 10 things from the 90s, right? Because one of my people said they also like to hear the news about the 90s. I was like, oh, I liked it. Thank you for telling me that, because now I can do a little bit more. Top 10 things from the 90s that were most loved. Now, this is based on research, okay? So you may not agree with this. And I'm going to tell you right now, I wouldn't put these things up here as the top 10 for me, but let's go through them. Number 1, The Simpsons. Yeah, The Simpsons were huge at one time. I'll say from probably 1992 to about 1995, The Simpsons were on fire. Especially, I'll say this, and this was back when a lot of younger people will watch The Simpsons. It seems like now there's a much older crowd watching The Simpsons, probably people that grew up watching The Simpsons, right? But at least that's what I hear. But because I don't watch TV at all, but I do read articles, of course. But when they were doing the Treehouse of Horror, do you remember that? I never was a big viewer of The Simpsons, but when they used to have that Halloween special come on, I think it was called the Treehouse of Horror, and they had like a marathon. Oh, that was so good. But they used to put a lot of good stuff on TV back then. Listen, folks, especially younger folks. I know we have some younger folks on the channel. I can't tell you how good television back then was. I mean, they will put so much stuff on for free. Like now you have to have streaming apps. So you're paying for everything. They will have Simpsons marathons. Like I said, the Halloween one. They will have Laurel and Hardy. If you ever heard of them, they will have them marathons. The Nutcracker marathon. I think it was the Nutcracker for like Christmas. What's the other one? Laurel and Hardy. Abbott and Costello, they had them on. I know this is old school stuff, but it was amazing. It was great. They would have movies on. Like they had a Jason Friday the 13th marathon one time, and it was edited. So like it'd be still scary, but you know, you were younger, you could watch it. They had a Halloween, Michael Myers. They had a Halloween marathon. This is for free. This was for free on TV. This was a crazy time. Of course, you had to sit through some ads, but the ads were awesome. You know, the ads were amazing. Back then, they were fun and they would engage you, and they actually made you want to purchase a product, you know. So I mean, they had a lot of good stuff on TV back then. You know, all the sitcoms and stuff like that were amazing. So that leads us to number 2, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, epic show. But you had a lot of epic shows back then. You had Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You had Step by Step. You had Martin. Different World, Full House. Oh, that annoyed me. So many people loved Full House. I just didn't get it. Maybe that wasn't for me. That wasn't my milieu, right? Is that I use that expediently? There were a lot of good shows back then, folks. Who remembers the Hulk Hogan show, Thunder in Paradise? Am I the only one who watched Thunder in Paradise? I think that's what it was called. And you know, the Hulk Hogan was the man back then, you know. This is long before Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock and such like that came in and changed the whole game, and Goldberg and all that stuff like that. But there was a lot of good shows, but Fresh Prince was one of them for sure. Did I say Family Matters also? Did I put them in there? That was epic show. Then you had wild shows that you better not have let your children watch, like Wayans Brothers, Wayans Brothers show. Oh man, Seinfeld. Seinfeld was another good one. What was the other one? Seinfeld? I can't remember. There's one on the top of my head, and I can't remember what it was, but it was really, really popular as well. Number 3, Saved by the Bell. Epic show. Double, like the children say today, the youth say today, W show. That means a win. That means it's good. W show. Saved by the Bell. But man, it had funny episodes. It had drama. And you grew up with these. That was back then where you grew up with characters. They don't do that anymore. Like you were young. These characters were young. They were growing older and going into college, and you were going, right? I'm telling you, man. I was like, man, shows used to go on for a long time back then, right? Right. Number 4, they have here. Really? Number 4, Baywatch reached number 4. It was crazy popular. You know, that was people. Let's be honest, folks. People were watching Baywatch for some naughty reasons, right? We're going to just leave that one there. I ain't going to touch too much on that. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that was also wildly popular. I will say this. I never watched the TV show. Never. That's just not for me. I'm more of an action type of person. You know, give me a good comedy. Give me some good action. I'm not a Buffy Vampire Slayer type person. I will say this, the TV show was insanely popular. I saw little pieces of the movie from like back then. The movie seemed like it was okay. I don't remember much of it at all. I'm more of a Jurassic Park, RoboCop 2, Daylight, Sylvester Stallone, Cliffhanger, Sylvester Stallone. I'm more that kind of person. Yeah, put that on for me. And then we're cooking, right? Wesley Snipes, Passenger 52. I'm more like that. I need a little action. Another one. This is great. It's actually a good list, actually. Although this wouldn't be my top 10. Dawson's Creek. That was also wildly popular. Once again, another show. I didn't really watch the show much, but people around me will always talk about these shows. Power Rangers. Yeah, that was super popular back then. Oh man, you couldn't escape this Power Rangers stuff. All the children wanted to dress as Power Rangers. You had the video games, the TV shows. I couldn't tell you how popular. I couldn't express to you just how popular it was. It was insane. And then, of course, here we'll end off with number 9. Number 9, Titanic. Now, I'll say this. I didn't watch Titanic the first few years that it was out and available. I'm not a person who likes to partake in popular things. It's just not me, especially in my younger years. I'm very much a go against the grain type person. If mainstream likes something, I'm probably not going to partake in it. I don't want to feel like I'm jumping on a bandwagon, something like that. I'm different now in my older years, but back then I was much more contrarian. But I'll say this. I won't even say contrarian, but like go against the grain. It's like, I don't want to, everybody's on that. I don't want that. Everybody has Nintendo. Give me Sega. Everybody has, once again, Nintendo. Give me PlayStation. I'm like that. My brother likes, Spider-Man. I like Batman. Right? Like that. I'm like that. I like to do my own thing and be unique. Titanic. Anyway, let's get back to that. That was a good, for those of you who haven't seen the Titanic with Leonardo DiCaprio, I can't remember the other people that are in it. I think Billy Zane was in it, who was also terrific in what's that horror movie? Tales from the Crypt. What was that movie? Was it called Demon Knight? Tales from the Crypt? Whichever one that was with Billy Zane in it, I loved that movie. And I also like The Phantom with Billy Zane. Billy Zane is an underrated actor, and they don't even talk about him anymore. I hate that a lot of the people that we grew up watching that were tremendously great, they just don't get the respect that they deserve, in my humble opinion. But anyway, Billy Zane was a great actor, folks. Whatever happened to Billy Zane? Anyway, he was in Titanic also. I watched it after a few years of it being out, and all the hype died down. And it was a good movie. It was a lot of drama, and could be a little bit disturbing to people that don't like disaster films, and they don't like that adrenaline rush. But it was it was well written. The acting was top notch. And let me tell you something. It really takes a lot to get me with a love story. A lot of love stories I just feel like are not well written. That love story was pretty good. It was convincing. It was interesting. And I think they developed it well. All the story was told well. Story is really big for me. And the action was good as well. There's only 2 love movies that I like, romance movies that I like. I'll tell you right now. Titanic was okay. I know, like, offering you only like 2 love stories in your whole life. What do you want me to do? I can only be honest with you. Just 2, but they were powerful. Titanic. And there's another one that is a very rare movie. And it might be a little bit strange, not in a bad way. But it's called, and I don't know if they have this available anywhere, but you could check it out. It's called Have Plenty, Hav Plenty. It's a great love story in my humble opinion. I like the writing in it. You might consider it to be low budget. I don't care about any of that stuff. All I care is that something's high quality. Like it brings something rich to the table. And the storytelling was good. I thought the acting was good. The comedy was good. Have Plenty. So Titanic and Have Plenty. Anybody ever seen those movies? But there you have it, folks. There's your 90s chapter. I kept my word, all right? So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I am now running late. It doesn't matter. I'm glad to spend some time with you folks. I'll still get everything done. Don't worry about it. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.